She lives in Vegas with her aunt, well, I think it's Arkansas. Her aunt was just worked in the hospital, and then Mr. Dizzy, so keep her in consciousness. Because we know consciousness most of the time. Consciousness.
And then the third person who's on the
That was Vanessa. She had some things, some stuff and stuff, and she's still regenerating. And then there was a fourth person who was Andrea, who was Dee's friend. Yeah. So I'm glad we're here.
We made it.
I'm happy to be here. So, from that place of meditation, is there anything in particular that you noticed that you'd like to speak just from that place in this present now?
Well, can you hear me? Yes. The wording and the way I like the wording on the screen when it said, healing, calm, and deep inner peace and release all blockages. And I was thinking of that any, if I'm moving away from being calm, just release all, any type of thoughts or anything that's blocking me from remaining calm. And that's what I was doing. Ashe.
I just have to admit that I had the monkey mind going on today. There was a lot just going through my mind, so I wasn't that deep into the meditation, but it was still good. The quiet was still good, the music was still good, but the monkey mind took over a little bit, so.
Yeah, Shay. Yeah, I found it very restful. Been, yeah, just running kind of nonstop since early this morning, and that was the first moment of stillness, and that was very great for me. And yeah, no particular insights other than that stillness. Yeah, Ashe.
Ashe. Well, I was noticing that I was still kind of into, like, integrated in this present moment from all the activity before I got here. So I go, oh, I'm integrating into this moment. So I noticed, I go, okay. And then I noticed that my mind was, because I've been, this past few days, I've been really, like I've been looking at, the continuity of this thing called life. And looking at according to science of mind, the birthless and deathless of all. I go, yeah, well, every word is a reference to something. So I woke up this last few days. Well, let's look at the whole cell division, and that our cells are constantly dividing, and this interchange always taking place, of which I don't have conscious awareness about that, and yet it's taking place. And I was so that's really just it. There's a lot, and I was thinking, well, something's taking place. And we have words like at conception is called pregnancy, and when we arrive it's called birth. Then that punctuation mark in between and pre and post. So I really been here a lot. I'm thinking, what is all of that? What is all of that? And how so about all of that? And but not in looking for an answer, but just in pondering, just a pondering about it. And I thought, yeah, and they say at some point the cells are not doing a pattern after each, when the cells divide, they So all from here, that's been just there, and so as I was sitting here, integrating, coming together, I'm noticing all around me, it feels like so calm and so quiet and so peaceful and so beautiful and so amazing. At the same time, I'm just in this awareness. So, so I think I sent some, I've been watching a lot of the things that get my attention. So I think I sent the Fibonacci numbers to, did you get that also, Linda? I sent later this evening, because I was looking at this, looking, look at that, yeah. So looking at the exponential of one, you know, one does not mean one and the same, but one is constantly. And I saw, but there are distinctions in that. So that's why I've been making myself all kind of notes and formulas and things. So as I'm sitting here, I'm noticing that that's still just kind of like hovering around, but at the same time, I'm so encased, so encompassed, so hooked up in something that's indefinable. Ashe.
Well, sure.
So that's where I was in the meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I would also in between last we were here and now, at one point we had said, what if we practice being as though what we are is what God represents? I think that was what we said one week. What if we actually practice being as what we're talking about when we use the word God, for example? And so I was just, I'm not sure if we got into that or not, but that's also been sitting there for me. So I was at my yoga class yesterday. I arrived at the gym, and they said, oh, no, it's not in here. It's coming outside today in the grass. I go, outside the grass? First time, I'm not doing yoga in the grass. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what I look like. I don't know who. So there's the yoga mats are not wide enough for me to cover that kind of territory. So I had all this, was a monkey mind. I had so much mind shatter. It was loud. And my body felt like, oh, I have a cramp here. So the mind chatter was loud, and then my body was responding to the mind chatter. And I slowly know, Eric went got messed. So I found myself, okay, I'll just stand on my back. Okay, I'll sit. Okay, maybe I'll go over there and wait. And so all the mind chatter, but at the same time, I found myself staying with the idea of engaging, participating in this thing called yoga. And maybe I was thinking, maybe life is no different than that. You know, with all the things that have our attention, maybe if we just, but that's a prayer too. But not to be stopped by distractions that are not aligned with what we're really up to. So I'm really up to yoga, I'm really up to, that's what makes a difference, but at the same time. So I wasn't being pulled and torn, but I kept having to choose. I kept having to choose, you know, the mind for direction was yoga. It was the most interesting thing, it really was. I thought, we have choice. I don't care what it is, I don't care what. I don't care what it is, I don't care what. I go, and yet at the same time, I'm not doing this. At the same time, I don't know what's there. At the same time, at the same time, I'm staying with what I'm up to. That was very interesting. And so at the end of class, Elder Gertie said, phew. And I went, yeah, I stayed with it. Maybe that's what it is to practice being asked what the word God is referencing. And so when I sent you to, Elliot, I think I sent you the Fibonacci numbers, and I don't know if I sent you the conspiracy conspiracy theory of everything. Did I see you got that one? That is so powerful. Did I send it to you, Dr. Ted?
You did. I didn't get to look at it yet, but you
I
did
would
send
love
it
if
to
we
me.
watch, we share a little bit and then watch some of that, because that is just, it actually is speaking my business. It really speaks how I tend to listen, because we have to listen beyond points of references. We have to listen beyond what I believe, because I'm looking to see what I believe. But I have to be open to looking beyond what I believe, looking beyond what's familiar, looking beyond everything. And so otherwise, I'm thinking whether the word infinite is meaningless if I'm only interested in what the finite, which is the all I already know, we all think. And so where did Eric go? But anyway, when Captain, so somebody please share it, and then he might get Eric to come and show us a bit of this video on the conspiracy theory of everything. So it's amazing. So Dr. Seth, and then y'all,
Well, I know last week I mentioned I was wrapping up my regular physical exam, and hopefully that's it, I'm done. But I did have ended up with one final test I had to do, and then I had to focus on just knowing that all is well, that whatever test I have to do, I just do it, and all is well, and all was well. And that's trying not to think in a negative manner, that just remember that everything is working together for my good. So whatever is going on is pushing me in the direction I'm supposed to be going in, and I focused on that, and hopefully that's it. Ashe.
For me, one of the things that's been going on this week is this song has been in my head. You might have heard it before. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my brother, not my sister, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's not my mother, not my father, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. And I was just relating that to how we can blame the world for whatever is going on around us, and blame mom, dad, brother, sister, or whoever. But we always have to look within. We're the ones who, if you want to see the change, as they say, be the change. So for some reason, that's just been running through my head the last few days, Sometimes mom or dad might be gone 50 years or whatever, and you're still hanging on to some anger or upset or whatever failures might be going on in your life, you're still blaming. And, I like to say, well, they had you for the first 18, but, you had yourself for the last 50, so, so it's you. But anyway, that's my sharing. Songs just been going around in my head. And not that anything in particular was going on in my life about that, but it's just made me think maybe it was a conversation that I had with someone, and it was just a reminder that, hey, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I grew up singing that one. Oh, down south. I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has been said. Ultimately, I guess everything is a choice. I don't guess. Everything is a choice, ultimately. It seems like, and I guess that's where the inquiry is, it can feel like things happen to us. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's, the point of inquiry where we all grow up with this understanding. this sentence right here. Some things are just out of your control. And it does seem that way. It does. But then I don't know. Or where's the line between what is in your control and what is out of your control? Because if you look at Christ, who had control over the wind and waves, right? The sea, the storm, had control over it. Whereas we would say, well, in every life, a little rain must fall. But he would say, maybe it doesn't have to fall. So that line, and then there are things that, I have a friend who, I said something and, a friend got offended by it, right? I really was not trying to offend. You know how that is. You can just speak the truth to someone. They feel insulted. Someone can feel insulted. You're not, trying to insult them, but they feel insulted. So if that happens, when that happens, the person who feels insulted, if you say, it's your choice to feel insulted, it doesn't, it's true, that's true. Right, yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, no, really, yeah. You're, that's your choice to be insulted.
Only mom and dad could say that to us.
Right.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
Can't say that to a friend.
Well, then, I mean, yeah, well, maybe that's why I don't have too many friends. Because, yeah, I mean, if you, I understand that everyone but everyone has a line between what is in your control, what is out of your control. But then I think that line is related to, how expansive your consciousness is. And if it was expansive enough, like, I don't know if you could offend, I was about to say offend God, but that's not exactly what I'm saying. That to me is fascinating, that everything is ultimately our choice. And then there are some things where I've experienced this too. I'll speak for myself, where I've dreaded doing something. And so I've dreaded it, procrastinated, put it off. And then when I sit down and do it, it takes, 35 seconds and it's done. But for the, month prior, I was showing up as someone who was overwhelmed or whatever the excuse was. So I just have found that very fascinating, that, how much of life really is in our control. I look at salespeople who, I think of a salesperson, but some people I know, if they ask you something, if you ever had to sell candy door to door or like something like that, it can be very challenging to face that rejection. Some people don't take it personally. Like, I know one of the 4 agreements is don't take anything personally. And, but rejection, there's no but, rejection can feel personal. If you make a request and the person says no, that can feel personal. But, perhaps nothing is personal. Mm-hmm.
If you cannot handle no, then you're not making a request in the first place. Because if I ask Linda to do something and she said, I think I'm going to say no. If I can't handle no, I wasn't asking, I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so how do I expect something from Linda that she didn't agree to in the first place?
Because you want what you want. That's why. That's why.
Yeah,
Right.
But
No, I want what I want. She doesn't want what I want.
exactly.
So now I got a problem with Linda.
Yeah, but see, and I
Hypothetically.
think the problem is with yourself. Because Linda has a right to say, no.
Right.
You have a right to make a request
Yep.
unless you've been asked not to. Don't ask me in for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I said, don't, I've heard that from my mother, and I said to my kid, don't even ask. Don't go in the store and say, no. Right now, it's no. So don't even go in there and start clowning. So, I'm just saying. So, of course, they're going to ask anyway. And I know one of the biggest store in Florida. I just kept right on walking. Right on walking. And pretty soon, they got up, but they realized it was still no. Yeah. But I'm just saying that. Are you asking? Or are you expecting? Are you asking? Or is it a veiled demand?
Sure.
And I once asked my son, I said, are you asking me? Are you asking? Or are you demanding? He said, well, I was asking, but now I'm demanding. I said, well, that's good to know. Thank you for the clarity. I don't accept demands. No, I don't accept demands. You know, and so most people, they're supposed to want what they want. It has nothing to do with where you might be with yourself. But where they are with themselves. It has nothing to do with where you are with yourself. What is that? I mean, what is that?
Yeah, right. Well,
What is that?
yeah.
And here's the thing. Even if you're speaking truth, they're not interested in what's true. Because the truth, who said the truth? One can go back. The truth will set you free, the Bible says. The truth will set you free. But what it doesn't say, it might kick your butt first. It doesn't say that. But that person might happen. You might take offense, you might be unhappy, you might go through drama and trauma. But what's the truth for me, is still the truth for me. It may be your truth, but I'm talking about me. I'm saying no for me. Don't take that personal. You know, so my life is not given for you to have. I share myself with you, but my life is not yours to have. So I can say yes, I can say no, or I can say, well, how about this alternative? And when that's too much for people, if they're going to take offense, if you're going to be offended when I give you an answer, then you were not asking. And so I don't get what that is.
Well, yeah, you get it. They're not asking. They're demanding.
Exactly. And I will say, you don't have the right to demand anything from me. You don't have the right to expect something from me unless I agree to it. Now, what happens when people have a sense of entitlement?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? You're entitled. I'm entitled. No, that's entitled. We're both entitled. She's entitled to say, no, I'm entitled. So where we are. And so it's not personal. And so this one year, something to do with everything. Or something what Elliot was saying is that we have to own being source of our own experience. And that does away with blame. We have to own being source of our experience. I was in a program once, and so and I was doing volunteer work, and I was making calls to invite people to participate. And I was getting voicemail messages. So when we met to be debriefed, the person, who will you be in? And you created no one being home when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you being? And you're creating no one being at home. No one answering the phone when you call. Who are you being?
Yeah.
I never heard of it before. I'm thinking these people are crazy. See, that was beyond my belief or understanding about anything. When I look at, come back to, if it's one something, it's source of all. It has to include where you know one being at home when I go. You know, it has to include the no. It has to include whatever. And so I've been working with myself like that. This is coming back to not practicing, I hadn't anything to give up anything. I was off track for a moment with that. But I went back to that. What if I'm having this be about something? What is that showing me about where I am? If I'm having your conduct, your behavior, your whatever it is, and having anything that's taking place be about something, what is that showing me about where I am within the allness of the world?
Mm-hmm.
That. And so I just in the play of it. So when I was going through my little science documentaries and things like that, oh, I remember the Fibonacci numbers when I was in ministerial school. I had never heard of this before. I remember about fractals, okay. I remember about the cells. I remember so many things. So, and I remember this movie, What the Freak Do We Know? I may have sent that to you guys too. That was so amazing. And then, and this one, the quantum theory, I go, oh, and I go, oh, I can hear science of mind. I can hear the true, I can hear the depth of science of mind in this presentation about quantum everything. I can hear the depth of science of mind in that. I can
Mm-hmm.
hear our purpose statement. I can hear what we believe. I can hear core principles in that. And I thought, but in a different context, I thought, oh, I can see how religion and physics at some point, bump up against, because it's a different language, but there is beyond where religion will take you, because there's so much dogma to it. And so, anyway.
Okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, because yeah, you said quite a bit there, including right. So you pick up phone, call people if no one's answering the phone. That's you. Or there's a theory I can understand according to, principles of oneness and wholeness, that it's all you. So then what about people who find, the Republican nominee offensive? And they say, no, really, he's crazy. No, really, he's dangerous. No, really, he's a problem. Is that an informed political opinion? Is it a misinformed political opinion? Is it, something less than science of mind? Or is it, everyone's entitled to their opinion?
Yeah, you have your opinion, and when your opinion affects me, I have a right to have an opinion. So in your opinion, for example, everyone has the right to be in. So your right to be in and my right to be in. When your right to be in infringe and go over my right to be in, that's where stuff takes place. If you honor my right to be in, for example, like women in the abortion thing. So it's saying that you don't have the right to decide whether or not you're going to have a baby. You don't have a right. So I'm saying I do have a right. Your opinion, I don't have a right, does not negate that I do have a right, in my opinion. And so having had a miscarriage before, which they call abortion, but it was unstoppable. I'm in the hospital doing my bed, everything, and just traumatized, I don't know where. And at some point, I had to let go. At some point. Now, if I had not received medical care, I was in a already complicated situation. And I think when they're passing these laws like that, it's like they're thinking, they're not thinking far enough. They're thinking far too short. Because abortion doesn't mean like, oh, babies are being killed. No, there's stuff going on. There's things that happen in the natural course of things. But I think life itself is a phenomenon. And I think that I don't get to say, I don't have the control over what you are doing or what you're saying. Where I have, in a matter, I look at how I'm responding to what you're saying and your actions. I can look at how I'm responding to it, where am I responding from. I honor your rights and I honor my rights. So at the same time they go through, you have a right, I have a right. And let's just see what the dance is, what the dance is. But at some, I have to own, at some level, we're all interconnected. I'm all of it, and you're all of it. Otherwise, there's two things that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at when you took in the Fibonacci numbers, it's just 0 and 1 according to place value, you know. And so at some point it's like 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and then there's 3 because 3 and 2 are 5, then 5 and 3 are 8, and 8 and 5 are 13, 13 and 8 are 21.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the sequence of numbers that go through the whole of nature. You know, you get a letter or a color color. So there's an interconnectivity of everything. That's the oneness concept. The interconnectivity is the oneness. You know, but it's all a sequence. And so when I can look and see, I don't have to be, and I know about the story of Jesus. And I remember it says when the Roman soldiers were looking for Jesus. And so they went to this particular region looking for Jesus. Now these are Roman soldiers, like the police coming in the neighborhood, like Homeland Security, FBI coming in the neighborhood, and they're looking for a person. And you're questioning everybody, have you seen this person? You're not hiding, but we don't just look in your backyard, look in your house, let's see. And so at some point, I wonder if the people who were in the region, if they felt nervous and afraid that he's hiding out, or they were, they say he was hiding out in the Roman government, the Roman opinion, that this was hiding out in this region, in this area. So it puts everyone in that region at risk, for example. And so, was it about him saving the world, or was it about the safety of the people in that particular region? That's my one too. And so, Judas then, they say Judas betrayed him. So when Judas never, so what if he was reacting? What if he too was just about, snitching on Jesus? First of all, you know something, everyone's at risk here in this region, in this neighborhood. And so, you know, it kind of rewrites the script a little bit, you know, to how it's passed down. But I thought, like, you take Trump and the matter. I thought, you know something? To me, all of us, it seems necessary to me. But in this sense is that all the underlying, all the underbelly in this country, for example, of the violence that has taken place. This country was formed of violence, you know. And so there's always been a thing about women and about color and all that racism. So, but now it's coming to a light. I see color lines of color being crossed. I see we begin to walk like Martin Luther King, so we begin to walk together, cross color lines, are walking together. And maybe it takes this radical, crazy stuff coming to the light. And it's not necessarily breaking down, but maybe it's breaking up for the light to break through. So maybe if I can think about it in that with a higher frequency, rather than as a frequency that's a lower vibration, because frequency is all part of everything. So what if at a particular frequency, saying, oh, he's horrible, blah, 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 if I'm vibrating at that frequency, maybe I'm empowering that, but if I can vibrate at a higher frequency, for example, what if that is supposed to be taken with a higher frequency? From each one was one by one, because they're all interconnected. Maybe a higher frequency is being resonated. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that might involve acceptance and allowance of what is.
Exactly. And the allowance of what it is does not mean to lay down your doormat, you know, because I have women who were, and I've had contact who have been very abusive. They say, all of that, and they go, well, but it's such a stay married to death do us part, so I can't even have kids. Yeah, but it does not mean, it does not mean to stay there and get beaten to death, you know? It's so, it's like the thing about turning it as a cheek. Well, I can step aside at the blow pad. I can stand there and just let me around. I can step aside and blow pad. So it's so we have to look at everything, look a little bit further and a little bit deeper and a little bit further of everything, rather than having a conclusion and a position taken when there's everything beyond whatever that position happens to be. My thinking.
Okay, I'll make it quick, yeah. What I was thinking about, I know I spent a long time in sales, and I was trained a real long time in the sales area. And I know the one thing that I think I won't forget that stood out in my mind was that whenever I was trying, we were told, or whoever was in charge, would tell us that when I'm trying to make the sale, the person is objecting to the thought of what what you're suggesting. They're not objecting to you because they don't know you personally. So you have to take out the personal side of it and remember that they're objecting to the thought of what you're saying, basically. So it's hard to do to disconnect, I think. And they're saying, well, they're objecting to me, but they're making an objection to what is being presented. That's what I think. I share.
Exactly. And I don't think saying no is rejection. I think saying no is just no. It's just no. And I can say, well, thank you, no. You know, oh no, well, why? Well, no, that's a different, no, where's that coming from? I have to explain to you.
It's coming from an attachment of a person identifying with their desires, or a person, if I am my desires and I say, Mom, can we have some ice cream? And I say it with all my heart, and then she says no, I'm deflated.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing. Because like you asked, may I have some ice cream? You asked. She said no.
But I want it.
Yeah, which has nothing to do with what your mother's gonna do or not. It has nothing to do with
Wah!
And I think sometimes with babies, we learn, how babies have different, they cry one way, but when they really larva, you move, they learn that, from the time they were born. Oh, if I cry this way, oh, they're gonna do something. And so when they go, oh, sweetheart, I go, oh, look at that. I can get what I want. I can get what I want. And it's just in all frequency, but the body is a frequency system. It really is. I think it's just what's so in these biological bodies in this particular dimension. I think that is this dimension. And so, now, we are very symbol oriented, very form oriented, and that's our limitation. And so, how about what's beyond that as an identity, the biological identity, which comes with all the stuff we've taken in the end. What's really called for the tuning into a higher frequency, and that's like loving this, the conspiracy theory of everything. Because it takes you like, and I have to think like that. So I thought it would be interesting just to watch them up together.
All right, she probably set it up. Let's see.
Did he go? I love thinking outside the box.
I guess the only thing that, I guess the only thing that,
Is the microphone on at that time?
that you need,
I can put your own better.
I'm thinking that if you ask Linda to do something, or if Dr. Seth asks her to do something, she says no, I think the only thing you can control in that is your own reaction to it. You know, that's all you have control of. That's why I said, it's me. It's me, you know. That's what I have control over, me. And it's a growth process as well. You know, you have to learn that, like you said, as the baby, you know, you're trying to manipulate and get your way as a baby, and you can't remain a baby. You know, everything's not going to go your way, but it's the way you're looking at things. I think Dr. Seth said last week about mindset, how important that was, you know.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because I can't blame you for my feelings. If I blame you for my feelings, then I'm like a puppet.
Yeah. And early on we do,
What?
because we want what we want.
Yeah.
You know, how dare Linda say no to me?
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and that's the infancy of human being.
Right, exactly.
That's the infancy of being human.
Right.
Because
And you can remain an infant for a very long time, you know.
in our God state, you know, it's like, wow, okay. You know, because we realize, like, I mean, what makes that offensive? You want it, you get what you want. So what? That's just what's so. That's just what's so. She said no. That's what's so. So what? That you
But you know, you might also be thinking, well, I remember all those times she asked me to do something and I said yes, and now I went up to her this one time and she says no.
She's right there. That's the blame. That's the blame thing. That gets back to the blame thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's a very low frequency.
Yeah.
And I know it's a human thing, but it's our humanness. But it's like that's if you let the map of consciousness by David Hunter go blame and shame way down here, and go a little bit up, and then love is way up here, and love doesn't know anything about blame. So that becomes the further conversation. Okay, Eric, thank you.
Welcome to what may very well be one of the most important videos we've ever made. Now, in order to even begin this video, I must first establish this disclaimer. This video is a set of hypotheses, an exploration of the world, and while many ideas will be explored, what we are sharing here is not meant to be taken as definitive truth. We're not claiming this is entirely made up of facts. Rather, we are attempting to explore a deeper, perhaps darker, area of human consciousness and see the bigger picture of what is really going on. Please have your own experience, do your own research, and don't be afraid to go deeper down the rabbit hole. For the truth is often stranger than fiction.
Hey, listen up. Come here for a second. I'm gonna show you how this man's wife wanted a divorce, was even seeing another man, to just 6 weeks later, well, this happened.
Literally come like full circle.
There's no denying that the collective human consciousness is in quite of a pickle today. It is chaotic and overtaking itself and all of nature. Because of the internet, we have nearly real-time access to information, and yet most people are only seeing a particular slice of the story. For example, the algorithms behind what you find when you use Google, Facebook, YouTube, and almost every other social network are designed to show you what you're already looking for, or what the computer code thinks you want to see based on other people's behavior. Unless you're actively searching for new information, to find something different, or follow someone who is creating content that is going down rabbit holes and sharing what they find, what you get is generally what you're already accustomed to seeing. You only see what you want to see. Further, due to the controversial nature of many ideas, especially those labeled as conspiracy theories, many ideas are not explored by the masses, because when they hear about it, they see that these ideas are ridiculed and they write them off as nonsense or dangerous extremism. Following the herd mentality makes it easier to dismiss exploring new ideas, so people can easily go along with their lives. This is critical because the ability to change one's belief changes your experience of life, and most people are happy just letting things be as they are. a minority of people are compelled to seek higher truth at all cost, and certainly most of us know that sometimes it can be very hard to empathize with those who choose comfort over following their passions. As the saying goes, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, and trying to convince others to think differently only leads to distress on everyone's part. As many ancient texts will suggest, this is not how true wisdom is passed on. This creates a sort of self-created deception and distraction from the bigger picture, which is rarely explored. If you're already familiar with spirit science, we've talked before about how everything is connected. This was even a fundamental part of my own awakening, where I had a transcendent experience that all things were one, unified and stemming from and linking to a singular greater whole. Yet today, and the struggle of human consciousness, is that most people are not seeing it, simply not looking, or not even wanting to look. In modern science today, there are many scientists searching for an all-pervading theory of everything, something that unifies quantum mechanics and the theories of relativity. And so today, we respectfully present to you the conspiracy theory of everything. I invite you to watch this with the intention of self-reflection, for as is the nature of consciousness itself, pointing the finger and blaming others only creates more of the same cycle that we've been trapped in. Liberating ourselves from the illusion is the only way to really break free of the shackles that bind us to our lower state of being. Our conspiracy theory of everything begins first with the demiurge. The demiurge is an ancient Greek and Gnostic concept describing a consciousness that is considered to essentially be the creator of the physical universe, but not the supreme creative force behind all things. A good way to explore this idea is through The Matrix, a science fiction story that suggests everything we think we know of as the real world is nothing but an illusion, a false world within which most are imprisoned, unable to effectively identify what is real. As people go about their day-to-day lives, they think that their world is authentic, but that every individual is truly plugged into an artificial reality severed from the real world. While people suffer, there is a tremendous benefit to the ruling overlords, who in the film were a form of AI. As it relates to us, this AI is in essence the demiurge. The demiurge was described as a force, a deity, or a consciousness who was responsible for the creation of the physical world and reality. However, in a way, it had imposed itself over top of the true reality, the supreme oneness that created all things. In this, it was a false god who had assumed authority over the world, masking the living beings, namely us, from the supreme truth, the highest order of creation, and making us believe that what we experienced as real, the physical reality that we are a part of, was the true, authentic reality, even though it wasn't. Depending on the school and belief of different Gnostic sects, the demiurge was either seen as something malevolent, deliberately trying to deceive us, or something that was simply ignorant or misguided of its place in the universe and the rest of creation, which led to us becoming lost in the illusion as a result. Said in simple terms, the demiurge was the force behind the physical universe, but within our consciousness, so long as we perceived that which is physical to be real, we were slaves to the illusion of the false or at least incomplete reality. To that end, these ancient people, at least those who are part of the ancient mystery schools, believed that the physical reality was an illusion. They sought to liberate themselves from the illusion of reality through varying spiritual practices, from meditation to plant medicine ceremonies and everything in between, in order to connect with higher realms of existence and break free of the false world by finding the truth, the supreme oneness within. This is because even the demiurge and the physical universe still stemmed from the supreme oneness, and the light of truth could be found within. Known to the Gnostics as Sophia, meaning wisdom in Greek, it was the act of awakening this divine spark within us that would return us to the higher realms, which became the ultimate goal of many Gnostic schools. This is where we find the roots of enlightenment and light concepts from around the world, which teach that within this world of suffering, we can release ourselves from the illusion through various forms of mastery and self-discipline, both physical, emotional, and mental. This, of course, takes considerable effort and intention to do so. In essence, transcendent people do what is hard, and that's why their lives are easy. People in suffering do what is easy, and that's why their lives are hard. Fast forward to today, there is a tremendous volume of voices from across the internet, exploring ideas, concepts, and sharing a metric buttload of memes. But amidst the voices of the masses, we find a new concept emerging and being discussed in scientific and even some mainstream circles. An idea that proposes that the entire universe as we know of is actually a hologram or a simulation of some kind. Scientifically speaking, if we look at the cosmos from the perspective of quantum mechanics, there is a general acknowledgement that we really don't understand the universe like we thought we did. We are seeing the building blocks of the universe, the subatomic particles, the waves, behaving in ways that do not make sense in the context of classical mechanics, which revealed discrepancies in the laws of physics. Yet, the laws of physics still stand and apply in a practical sense when talking about our macroscopic world. But the fabric of the reality that we live in operates by rules that we have yet to uncover. The holographic universe seems in principle to be very much like how you might expect a movie and a projector to work in tandem. When you watch a movie, you enjoy it linearly, going through it one frame at a time, usually at 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. The stories on the screen follow a narrative of some kind, and generally speaking, there are definite laws that make up the universe you are experiencing in the film. Yet, the quantum world, on the other hand, is like being able to observe the entire roll of film timelessly at any point, which includes zooming in on individual frames, playing things backwards, forwards, the sequels and prequels all at the same time. The particles and waves that make up our reality are non-linear and could potentially imply notions of retrocausality. And while they too follow their own set of laws, they are different from the world we exist in at a macro level. Another example of this is found in computer code. What you are seeing on your computer or phone screen at any given time is a filtered projection of what is really going on underneath the surface, designed to be easy for you to interpret. Yet, under the surface of these machines, there is a computer language that is incomprehensible to nearly everyone. Languages like binary and machine code are too simple to make complex algorithms effectively in. Instead, programmers use higher-level languages designed to be understood by humans to write code that is then translated into the lower, base-level machine code and then binary at the bottom. What you are seeing when you look at your phone or computer monitor ultimately comprises mountains of ones and zeros that lay under the surface of the digital world, just like what is under the surface of our own reality. You might be familiar with the ancient wisdom teaching, as above, so below, a concept that applies on several levels, describing that which exists in higher realities is a mirror of lower ones. So as with machine code and binary, ultimately all of that computational code is equal to and actively creates the digital experience on your devices. But they are two entirely different paradigms. This is the great challenge of modern science today, unifying quantum mechanics and general relativity, because we are unable to comprehend yet how the physical world and tangible substance, continuity, gravity, life, time, and consciousness emerge from this flux field of quantum information, which appears to operate by an entirely different set of laws related to statistics and probability. Yet, like with machine code and computers, are they really so different? The question then becomes, as many are theorizing today, could our entire reality be nothing more than a simulation? An artificial reality that our consciousness is plugged into? There are some oddities that have been captured on camera that some people believe are glitches in the Matrix. Now maybe these oddities are fake, who knows? But as an example, we do have this curious clip of a bird who is perched in midair without moving before flying away. There was also this news footage from Russia several years ago that someone caught an individual levitating on camera. But when the guy with the camera called out to them, the girl dropped down and ran away. Now again, I'm not trying to say this is hard evidence of a real-life matrix, but it certainly compels curiosity. And this is what it's really all about. Humanity living in the question, in the mystery of life, and these strange occurrences that beg us to ask the question, what is the true nature of reality? Now, on that note, I encourage you to please do your own research and go down these rabbit holes yourself and make up your own mind. In this way, you become a conduit of free thought rather than following in the herd mentality of that which has been established for you by the powers that be and society at large. Even if the laws of physics as we know them today say that this is impossible, levitation or birds perched in midair, we also know that the laws of physics are incomplete. We don't even know how to properly fit gravity into our standard model of physics, and perhaps unlocking these secrets will change everything for us. And this brings us to our primary key, where we begin with our conspiracy theory of everything, the basis from which everything to come will build off of. The Demiurge is, in essence, a lesson about the illusion of reality. That the entire world as we conceive it to be is based on what we perceive with our physical senses, which is a limited experience of the totality of that which exists in the whole universe. This idea suggests that the illusion of the cosmos is incomplete, and as long as we believe in only it by itself, we too shall remain incomplete. We are living within a material universe, yes, but there is more to the cosmos than just that. And as long as we choose to believe in this limited reality, we will continue to perpetuate its existence. It is only by embracing that which we don't know and asking the right questions can we break free of the fetters that bind us. In the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean, there is a great deal of discussion that describes the human soul as a light trapped in the veil of the night, a metaphor suggesting that the night is the illusion of separateness, the soul disconnected from the supreme oneness, or simply trapped in illusions in general. Basically anything that is not the highest truth. It is the unilluminated mind that actively creates the reality that it perceives to be real, and as such, humanity lives out its days in the dark, veiled in the illusion of one's own beliefs, disconnected from any higher reality. This was portrayed excellently in Marvel's Doctor Strange, when Stephen denies anything beyond the material universe, and then is shown a glimpse of the multidimensional nature of reality, that thoughts are things. He is shown that all of us steer the reality field by our conscious intent. But yet, as we become complacent in the creation of our lives, we give up control of the driver's seat. But then the question is, who is driving the ship? Literally anyone and everything else. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious, the collective mind field of everyone whose thoughts and feelings influence our own very decisions and actions by the concentration of their energetic weight. Whether it be the media, the news, advertisements, what your family or friends tell you, or things that you just happen across on the internet. Ultimately, all of it is processed by our egos, which shape who we think we are as we disconnect further from the nature of our being. So the question then becomes, what is the truth? What is the higher reality? And how do we connect with it? The ancient wisdom teachings describe that the quest for wisdom, or enlightenment, or the true nature of being, is a continuous journey into the unknown, and the illumination that we are active creators of our lives, not simply beholden unto the preconceived patterns that we've been following in. The great truth we must understand about the demiurge is that we are the ones who actively perpetuate its existence by believing in the physical universe as the ultimate reality. Your beliefs shape the reality that you experience, as Dr. Bruce Lipton has demonstrated through his work with the biology of belief. The beliefs and ideas that we hold in our minds can be scientifically proven to affect how our DNA and cells express themselves. If you believe you are a lowlife with nothing going on and will die alone and miserable, guess what kind of life you will lead? If you believe you can change the world, guess what kind of life you will lead? In order to break free of the limitations that we feel are imposed upon us, we must first believe that it's possible to do so. We must open ourselves to a greater truth, a greater reality, one that is beyond the demiurge, and perceive a cosmic truth that forever changes life as we know it. Yet, humanity is not paying attention to messages like this in mass, and there is a reason for it.
Eric, you mind?
It is a
I think
very
we can
significant
pause it
and
here.
critical thing. For this one piece of the puzzle.
Oh. No, that worked. Well, that's a lot. And-
It was metaphysical, basically, when, the last words, that I heard him saying, whatever you're thinking, that's what you'll become, basically, and that's what we're that's what we hear over and over again, which is true, and it affects the cells and everything. So you have to be careful of what you're thinking about. Ashe.
I said, so I was asked, who was I being? Who was I being? Where was I? What was my consciousness? That I was treating no one being at home. If I'm creator in the matter, if I'm calm, if I'm source in the matter, then who am I being that this is reflecting back to me? I don't care what it is. And that's a tough one because I don't get to point fingers. I don't get to make you statements. And that's a tough one. That's very challenging. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, that was big. And then also big is the idea, I didn't hear it in these words, but that there's something beyond the veil, of what we call reality, what we see, but there is the workings, the causation, right, behind it. And just to, be still and ponder that, everything has something behind it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we
I see.
have such a reaction to what's in the occurring as though we had nothing to do with it. That's the other thing. So we keep looking like, oh. So we're constantly being called to release, release, and release, and release. And typically, if I have a point of view, sometimes it isn't easy. Sometimes it's challenging to let go of my point of view, knowing that there is something more, or knowing there's something behind without our participation? Is there anything without our participation? Is there anything taking place, anything occurring, anything in creation of which we're not a part of?
Yeah, I would suggest there are things. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good question. Yeah.
But the collective unconscious at some level.
There's nothing for you without you.
And is there, and so then what, then the word you gets to be interesting. Because when you let everything go, what's left? Because how we identify, because the you, the idea of as a you self, there's an identity associated with that. So as we let go of all that's associated with that, and this occurring, gets to be kind of like, that's I guess, so, but you guys see the matrix. You can see the matrix, and where at some point, he's, at some point, it's both, and at some point you realize, oh, the bullets, he's bending in consciousness, and the bullets have no place to land. So I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
These are just conversations to look at everything.
Okay. Well, we're gonna let go of everything, and we're gonna let go of this conversation for this evening. Oh, Elliot. Yes, Elliot. Any final thoughts there at all, or Linda?
Just keep your mind, keep it in a high frequency and try not to drop down if you can. Ashe.
Ashe.
Sometimes I just think that even though whatever frequency that we're vibrating at, I just think it's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more, man, so much more. And that's exciting, that we could keep growing and learning, even at our young age.
And sometimes something can so look like something. Take, for example, we've had different experiences that so felt like something, that seemed so real, and at some point, they are no longer. What felt so real and seemed so real, at some point, it's nowhere. So was there ever anything other than what we brought to it as though it was something?
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. It's a lovely how the
Hologram.
The hologram. I love to see them turn and see how it's like, wow, it's all so interconnected. And perhaps that's the greater real of what we are, is that this everything, because for the nothing and the something. So I thought about, Ms. Holmes said, the objective universe is a necessary logical outcome. So if there's no outcome, is there anything? I mean, without creation, is there what we call God? And without awareness, so the idea of contrast doesn't mean contradiction, but for there has to be some contrast or something, for nothing to be something, to be some contrast, some background to it, I'm thinking. So I don't know, this is just.
All right, well, we'll end it. Life is apparently what you make it. So let us depart and make it perfect. Ashe. If you said so, if you say so.
Exactly.
Ashe.
Am I imperfectly perfect?
But when I saw that little girl floating, I think we probably all can fly. I mean, but it's, I think there's a lot of things we can do.
I think we've had experiences that we didn't pay attention to, we kind of like this,
Yeah, drive safe, it's starting to get dark earlier.
Oh, yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, I noticed last night, it gets dark around 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's getting dark.
Dr. Seth, you mentioned on Sunday how Paul had sort of sneaked up on me.
Right, yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. All right.
All right, see you Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, honey, who let you offend, Dr. C?
Oh, that was just months ago. I haven't even spoken to anyone to offend anyone lately. But no, yeah, that was, and yeah. She said, yeah, she said, just don't hurt my feelings.